Ever since I discovered Top Gun Maverick, I immediately got addicted. I watched the movie 5 times in theaters, bought a stick and a VR headset, read pages of PDFs about VF18, watched hours of BFM theory, and spent hours playing around in DCS. But this was not enough. That's why I flew all the way from Paris to Nevada and got into an aerobatic plane at Sky Combat Ace in Las Vegas to do dogfighting in real life.
Every goddamn thing. I wanted a bitch who was on the move, but you want it goddamn late. Got that one in my bed and she just wanna sleep. Fucking up all of the sheets. She only wake up to eat. Do this shit every week. Like how you do that? Crying you wanna be great, but sleeping until the next day. How you do that? Got that much in the bank. We go out, she want her to stay. How you do that? Can't explain it, but just know it won't give up. She screaming, she don't know her love. But really she don't give a fuck. And I cannot read this shit, ain't this shit. She know on the real, it'll never change. I won't be the one to try to explain. Catch them feels, I'm sip on this drink. It's easing the pain.
Nice! I got the back and choke! Woo! Ace 5, 10 minutes, Ace 5, 10 minutes, you climb up its right. Westbound.
Huge disclaimer. In this video, I'm going to try my best to debrief on my fights and take away a few lessons, but bear in mind that this is a topic I barely understand. All of my knowledge on dogfighting comes from the wonderful BFM Guides from Air Warfare Group. I have never flown a plane before, I only have 100 hours playing around in DCS. I never trained properly in DCS, and I never fought a human opponent. You'll see that these two mistakes are going to cost me a lot during the fights. Quick briefing on the flight. We are flying the Extra 330 LC, an aerobatic 2-seater. I am flying with Axel Guillotine Legras, an ex-French Proud Trooper, now flight instructor. Bandit is the same plane with 2 opponent flight instructors, Ian Tectonic Forbes and Handley Nash. Axel flew us to the AO, we did a quick training fight to help me familiarize myself with the controls, and then did 4 consecutive dogfights. For the dogfights, the rules are simple. We start the fight head on, Axel gives me controls after the merge. We get a kill when we press the trigger with our nose aligned on the enemy in pure pursuit and in the opponent's control zone. For security reasons, shots from above the opponent's 3-9 line are forbidden, we are not allowed to get closer than 400 feet from the bandit, and hard deck is set at 5,000 feet. I'll show the 4 fights we did, debrief them, and then give my key takeaways from the experience, especially comparing it to DCS. So without further ado, let's get into the first fight.
3, 2, 1, you got the back controls! Woohoo! Ace 5 is blind. Nothing, continue. Be careful the floor, you're diving too much. Pull back, the floor. Ace 5 blind. Be careful the floor, 100 feet to the floor. Left to left. Visual. Left. We can start to run out of energy a little bit. Ease up the pull a little bit, be careful of the ground too. Ace 5 is low. Ace 5 is low. Very high. That is sick. Left to left. Left to left. Be careful. Don't stall too much towards the ground. Ace flight, knock it up. Ace 5, knock it up. Knock it up. I got the package hold. You clear land rest left, you can turn 90 degrees right.
Well, we're not dead at least.
Now we hit the ground.
Ah, shit.
And that was the first fight. Unfortunately, I hit the hard deck and died. So we started the fight in a 1 circle at the merge, but you'll notice that I quickly lose altitude. This is really the part that humbled me. I was under so much pressure from the experience and the G-forces that my brain was simply not there. I had no idea what my current pitch, altitude, and speed were. I did not even identify that we were in a 1 circle. All my brain could process was looking at the bandits and using the stick. This led to extremely poor energy management, which led us to the deck with no energy. In the video, we even see the bandit hundreds of feet above us with a huge energy advantage. At some point, I tried to climb back up, but stall immediately and hit the deck. Very bad performance on this fight. Let's skip directly to fight 2. In that fight, Axel is going to guide me much more to avoid the same disaster.
We're gonna go do a loop straight up. 3, 2, 1, you got the back controls, let's go! Very nice. Beautiful, I like it. Doing a pretty good job here. Ease up the pull a little bit when you lose energy like that. Yep, use gravity, perfect. That's right. That's right. Yep, keep that turn coming. Right, right. Right, right. Left to left. Left. Very nice, you're doing a pretty good job. Be careful the ground, be careful the floor. Yep, keep that turn coming. 200 feet to the floor. Left to left. Left. And so here what you can do is right here, dive towards the ground, go towards him. Don't pull too hard, get some speed a little bit, really close to the ground. Yep, go to the left, right to right. And now turn to the right. There you go. Very nice, we're almost there, buddy, we're almost there. Squeeze the trigger! Nice! I got the flag controls! Woo! Ace 5, terminate, Ace 5, terminate, you climb up its right. Westbound. Terminate.
And we got a kill on fight 2. So here Axel helped me out a lot by calling the shots. We entered the merge with a lot of speed and immediately traded it by going vertical. This gave us a good energy advantage that I tried to retain as much as possible during the next minute. At some point, Axel sees a good cue to spend our energy and takes the stick for a second to make us dive out of plane. We immediately cash in our speed to maneuver towards the bandit and get a good weapon solution. I think the bandit here is giving us a lot of slack since he's not denying the shot and we get our first kill. Big thanks to Axel on this because I would have probably lost the advantage without his calls. Let's move on to fight 3.
You got this, buddy, you know what to do! Up. 3, 2, 1, you got the back control!
I got eyes!
Left to left. Oh, we're in trouble.
Why is it? I've got eyes!
Be careful the floor, don't dive too much.
Yup!
300 feet to the floor, 200 feet to the floor. Go up, go up. I got the flag controls, whee!
Yes!
Woohoo! A/slash terminate, A/slash terminate. Terminate. You clear over his left, you can reference north. Pre-blind.
So, here we start the fight in a 1 circle, but my brain is so out of it that I fail to identify this and I focus on rate performance instead of turn radius. The bandit already has the advantage when I panic and decide to break away from him way too early, giving away my control zone. When I realize this, I start spending a lot of energy to try to deny shots. This eventually brings me to the deck without any more energy to spare and we get shot down. This leaves us with one last fight.
Final round, let's go! And 3, 2, 1, you got the back controls, let's go! 316. Continue. Just don't fly below him, he's ballistic, he's stalling. Oh yeah. He's 5 ballistic. Yep, let it dive a little bit, he needs energy. Oh! I got the flag controls, whee!
Ah, god damn it.
Woo! Ace flag terminate, Ace 5 terminate.
Terminate.
Alright, Ace 3, you're clear enough, that's it! You can go back to base first.
I'll get the ATIS.
This was a weird one. We once again start in a one circle, where I do the same mistake of not focusing on turn radius, and then we get a perfect showcase of the importance of training against unpredictable human opponents. The bandit here decided to purposefully stall his airplane, which confused me completely and caused a massive flight path overshoot. This gives away my control zone immediately, and at that point I was way too queasy to try to deny shots, and unfortunately I died. So what can we take away from this? Well, dogfights are much harder in real life than in Sims. A few things were easier. It was easier to get a good picture on the bandit, since we are not looking at a pixelated screen. It was also easier to feel energy excursion, since, well, you can literally feel the G-forces when spending energy. Stalls were also easier to identify, since the plane would violently shake as soon as the stall started. And that was it on the easy side. Everything else was much harder. I mean, I think I can divide this into two main problems that are interestingly addressed multiple times in the Air Warfare Group videos. The first one is the lack of bandwidth. In DCS, you are comfortably sitting in a chair without risk or G-forces. This gives you enough bandwidth to understand the situation, read your current altitude and speed, etc., and this leads to good decisions. Here, it was completely impossible. You are under so much strain that your brain simply cannot process the amount of information coming at you. Multiple times during the fights, I failed to identify the current fight flow I'm in, which leads me to choosing wrong strategies. I also don't know my current energy state, which leads me to spend more energy than I have and then stall or crash into the deck. This really emphasizes a point made by Air Warfare Group in his videos, which is everything outside of the basics, like looking at the enemy plane and moving the stick, needs to be trained to the point where it becomes second nature. You'll simply not have the bandwidth to process anything else during the fight. The second problem is the importance of training against human opponents. Up to this point, I had only fought the AI in DCS. The AI is fine, but it is somewhat predictable. It got to a point where I would only do 2-circle fights because I had learned how to beat the AI in that specific configuration. In real life, your bandit is completely unpredictable. He'll switch between horizontal and vertical planes, he'll go oblique or out of plane, he'll even stall the plane to get an advantage. Without training against a human opponent, you can't get used to all of these situations, and you risk freezing during the fight in confusion. Overall, I had an amazing experience there. Thanks a lot to Sky Combat Ace for organizing this activity. I have no idea how this is legal, but I am very glad that it is. Also, big thanks to the Air Warfare Group for their amazing BFM Guide playlist. I'll link it in the description. Once again, I am far away from an expert on this topic, so if I got anything wrong, please let me know in the comments, and see you next time.
On sait comment par rapport au simulateur?
Ah, c'est impossible.